Hello from Liberty. I did not record my Bible journaling of the last Passover through Resurrection for my first two entries for that. So I wanted to show you that and just kind of walk you through the process that I used to make these pages. So I'll just kind of go step by step and show you what I did to create these two pages out of Matthew 26 and Matthew 27 of the last Passover and the crucifixion of Jesus. Now, first thing, when I do my Bible journaling, I always put a mat under the page I'm working on just so that it doesn't get through the inks, the mediums, the water, anything through to the other pages. So just to protect that page. But I do not prepare my pages with gesso or anything like that. So this is personal preference and this is how I prefer to do it. But it does leave some shadowing or bleed through on your other pages, which I'm totally fine with. Okay, so for this first entry, and I guess for both of these, I'll show you, I made this printout of several designs to go along with the last Passover up through Resurrection. This is available as a free download on my website. You're free to go get that if you want. And I just printed those out and cut them out with my scan and cut. Of course, you can cut them out by hand if you prefer. I also printed them out on vellum, and in particular, I wanted the cross to be vellum on there to just have a little bit more see-through ability on that. So as you can tell, this page is mostly from the printouts, but the background is done with the Hero Arts stencil called Stained Glass. And I just stenciled this in a rainbow. I had to do part of it and then move it down and do the rest of it. And the colors that I used for the rainbow on there were Kitsch Flamingo, Spiced Marmalade, Mustard Seed, Bundled Sage, Tumbled Glass, and Shaded Lilac. And I just put them through the stencil with my blending brushes. The only other things left to do on that page were to glue on my printouts. I use distress collage medium most of the time. Every once in a while I'll use Zig two-way pen to glue in my Bible. To do my words, to highlight the words that I'm emphasizing and journaling, I just ink smush a bit of one of the inks that I've used onto a mixed media mat or my glass surface, and I use a water brush pen to paint over the words. The distress ink is transparent, so you can see through that and still read the words. And then I usually emphasize it a little bit more by taking a micron pen and outlining it. The last thing to do is to stamp the date on that I did it, and then add a tab. On my other page, I again used from the printout, I used the King of the Jews from the printout. My background, again, was stenciled. I used the Rainy Day stencil from LDRS and stenciled the clouds from that with hickory smoke ink in the background. And this time, my cross and my crown of thorns, again, kind of that same theme with the cross and crown of thorns, but I wanted something different than my printout. So this is actually one that I cut out with my Cricut. And in Cricut, it's called Cross with Thorns, and it has two pieces. The vertical and the horizontal pieces of the cross are two separate pieces, and then the third piece is the crown. And to do those, I ink blended on Bristol cardstock using gathered twigs mostly, and I think I used another brown in there, but I don't remember which one to start with. and I used wild honey, and again I think I added something over top of that to darken it a bit, but I don't remember which one. But anyhow, I darkened those spaces, cut out the cross and the crown of thorns with my Cricut, and then I put the cross pieces through my Gemini Junior cutter with the Sizzix lumber 3D texture folder, and that's what gave that added wood texture to the cross. Then I went over just lightly with the walnut stain ink to give a little bit of definition to that wood grain. The pieces for the bottom for my heels were just a piece of tea-dyed paper that I had, just a scrap of that, and I inked the edges again with the walnut stain to give them a little more definition. Again, glued those pieces on, added my date, highlighted the verses that I was emphasizing, and that page was done. So I mainly wanted to share this with you just so that I could let you know that if you're interested, that you can download the printout for free off of my website. And then I'll be posting another video of the third page that I did with those cutouts. And that is from the resurrection itself. And I used a different technique there with napkin collaging and stamping. So be sure to have a look at that video also. Thanks again for watching, and please subscribe and like and share and all those good things. Give me some love. And as always, go make beauty from ashes and be freely whole.